Now, I had some reports from people who feel very weak when they drink too much water, especially when they're doing fasting. And I want to talk about why that is. It's basically a deficiency of sodium. A person is going to feel very weak if they don't consume enough salt, and I recommend sea salt. So there's all sorts of things that can make you deficient with sodium. Number one, not consuming enough sea salt. And of course, when you're fasting, you're usually not consuming anything except water. And the more water you drink, the more you dilute the minerals, including salt and sodium. So the combination of drinking more water when you're fasting is a bad combination. You always want to consume sea salt if you're fasting. Our bodies need minimally 3.5 to 4 to 5 grams of sodium. That's roughly between a teaspoon and a half to 2 teaspoons of sea salt every single day. Also, if you're doing low carb, you're going to require more salt than if you're doing higher amounts of carbohydrate. That's simply because when you're on a high carb diet, you're going to retain more salt than when you're on a low carb diet. Now, the other thing that can create a sodium deficiency is consuming large amounts of potassium. So if you're doing an electrolyte with a lot of potassium and you're not doing enough sea salt, that can throw you off too, especially if you're doing all these other things like fasting. So don't forget about the sea salt. Now, the more stress you go through, the more salt you're going to need. Because when you're pumping out a lot of cortisol, you lose sodium. Salt is needed as a part of the stress response. Now, of course, if it's hot outside, it's summer, and you're sweating and you're exercising, you're definitely going to need more salt. And if you're on a diuretic or an antidepressant, you're going to need more sodium. If there's liver damage, if you have hepatitis or you have a fatty liver, or you have cirrhosis, or you have kidney damage because you're a diabetic, you're going to need more sodium, which is interesting because a lot of times you're told to avoid salt if you have those conditions. And lastly, you can lose salt if you have diarrhea or you're vomiting. So these are all factors to consider if you're feeling weak. You could be deficient in sodium. One quick way to find out is just to start consuming more salt and see if you feel stronger. So if you're enjoying my content, which I hope you are, and you're applying this knowledge to your health, and you have a success, I would really appreciate you sharing your success story. So click the link down below to my website where you can upload your success story so you can help inspire others.